Hey, State Farm. Just wanted to show, please bear with me because the iPad that I had sitting right here, recording this entire time, freaking overheated. I'm very frustrated, and I want to show that level of professionalism, but it's really asinine when we're trying to do this level of work in help and submit these documentations and submit these video reports and photo reports and all that kind of stuff, and then our technology, just due to stuff I don't know, is not always as friendly to us. This is the wind damaged shingle that we are choosing to repair within this section. I've already showed this. Here are the three next to it because the seam is directly above. And what I had already done is break the seal, and you have documentation of some of that, but it missed like the last 2 minutes when it cut off, and then I went to move it to show this documentation and realized the iPad had shut off on me in the heat. Very frustrating. So I want to show, just so that you're aware and can see within the stages of documentation, what we already have to show for here is a couple areas of just starting to create a level of creasing up at the top of these shingles above, in the row above. But the most important part is that, and bear with me on this because there's no way that you can see this without me lifting this up to show you, but I'm going to try to be as careful as I can. There is clear signs of breaking through the shingles themselves, where the areas of mat transfer present have completely ripped through. Look at this. Completely ripped through the back of the shingles themselves, sometimes all the way through. This right here is a penetration pierce point from the back side of the shingle, and just trying to break the seal where the roof snake has gone all the way through the shingle itself. And to show evidence of that, look at this heavy level of mat transfer itself right there. And on the back side of the shingle, I have to do this. The adjuster would do this on scene anyway, and no one would criticize him. And if an adjuster ever saw something like this in accordance to an inspection, he would also consider that to be damage, right? So the fiberglass matting has ripped entirely through and exposed on the back side of the shingle. This will never seal again, and it's also cracked and broke here in the center just by breaking the seal. And I have both rows unsealed above. This was the only one that wasn't like that bad. But as you can see, we are starting to create a level of mat transfer that just by breaking that seal has ripped through these back sides of the shingles themselves. Look at this one. This one's really bad. And the back side of the shingle, this one also has a tear in the center from trying to get the mat. And I'm trying to be careful not to lift it up to your standards or past your standards. But if I was to completely lift this up and show the back, look at this gaping hole right here from breaking the seal of the matting, right? So tight. Look at this one. So tightly bonded. This is considered damaged from 2 of the 5 points of failure just by breaking the seal. I haven't even started to remove the nails yet, but in that process, this is a little hard to see in the daylight, but I will get clear pictures. But we are already seeing cracking and creasing start to accumulate, at least on the row above. Not so much on the second row above that, except for over here on this right-hand corner. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that documentation as of now so you can see it exactly how it is. Then I'm going to continue on with the process to pull these nails out of this specific shingle and replace with a new. And hopefully my technology will hold up and not shut itself off in between, where I have to send you 5 different videos because I am not a photo editor. I am a roofer, and I am out here trying to help people to the best of my ability in these parameters. And sometimes the level of scrutiny that we deal with, specifically from State Farm, respectfully, can be held to these unrealistic standards for any contractor. Any contractor. And so, hi. We got a lot to work with and a lot to show for here, but my seam is right here. So So the first thing I'm going to do is try to find the first nail, which I can see here, and gently pull, try to get these nails up. I'm having a hard time getting that out of the itself. Okay, we got the first nail out. Set this to the side, and I have torn this shingle entirely, pulling a nail out, by the way. So here's our second one. This shingle's already cracking. Our second nail from the row above. Try to let that settle back down. There's our third. So our third, as you can see, these are really starting to come apart here in a gentle repair. By all standards, a gentle repair. Not too many contractors, if it was left up to their own devices, in the state of repair, would go through the same level of gentleness with a lot of times an inefficient tool to perform the work. And a lot of times what we deal with, that is the reality of construction, is these stubborn nails that do not have an easy way to come out. There we go, baby. All right, so that is the fourth nail from this shingle in the row above. Try and find this one. Come on, baby. First one out of the second row. Come on, baby. Get out of there. All right. Got the second one out of the second row. Haven't found a third yet. Okay, I don't know where that one is. Hopefully we'll find it when we pull the shingle out. Seemed like it was loose though. Okay, there's hopefully the last one. All right, let's see if this slides out. Yep, this one's free. However, this one's very loose above. And what I want to show for is, let me make sure this thing's still recording. Perfect. What I want to show for is clear signs of tearing. To simply remove the nail. That's on all of the shingles in doing so. Tearing, right? Tearing right through. This, if you remember, what I was showing for is the layer row above, the shingles directly above this repaired shingle, where if you can see the level of mat transfer here, if you were to look at the backside of those shingles, you would see stream points of tearing like this in breaking the seal. Where there's holes in a mat and a fiberglass matting has been exposed, you would see clumps like this attached to it, where then there is a hole from underneath. And this is the reality of breaking the bond like that. And as I was mentioning that, hey, if any qualified experienced adjuster were to view an inspection based off somebody, you know, or a contractor identifying damage, and they were to look at a, let's say, a wind damaged shingle that would be unsealed, right? And they went like this, which they all do. I got recordings of them doing it. State Farm does it. When they lift that shingle up, what they're looking for is the backside of the shingle itself to show for a level of matting. And one of the major things that they equate for is, does that back of the shingle have points of excessive mat transfer like this? Because in most cases that would be considered mechanical damage, or you know, damage that is not sustained with wind. But either way, this is what happens in subsequent repair that not everybody is looking at, and we have to show documentation for. Because of the shingles rows above this one that we pulled out, any of the ones that would look like this would then be jeopardized. That integrity is lost, right? There's a hole in that. That's where water can get in and start to deteriorate the lifetime of the shingles much faster. And in doing any consequential or subsequent repair based off of covered damages, this would be, by all standards, considered damaged to the point of non-repairable, right? Meaning that we would have to repair the row above the shingle that we're looking to repair, and then vice versa. It would continuously go up, and I haven't even shown you the second one yet, or any of the other points of failure that are already starting to show, right? This is just the main one, just from breaking seal. And that would be considered a damaged shingle right there for both rows above. Make sure we're still recording. Perfect. Now, we've got our new shingle, and we are going to slide that into position. And here, I'll show documentation of this. This is important. All right. Look at this. So the shingle that we were equating for as storm damage is the furthest one on the left of that 3-tab, right? The one with the blue horizontal line. That is the one that had been labeled as wind damaged. And just to show that by breaking the seal, this is the one next to it that was sealed and bonded, that was not wind damage whatsoever. Look at this big gaping freaking hole down to the felt paper and the decking right below. Right? This is what happens just by breaking that seal on these specific shingles. Look at this big gas hole right there. And there is more and more to show for all through these areas. And we also have levels of creasing all the way across, and the granulars, I'm doing this gently, are starting to come off of the shingle. Now, I understand that granular loss is not a covered loss, but when it's consequential and subsequential to a repair, what happens is, as the shingles are losing its granulars, we are then therefore losing the integratable bond of the protective layer of the shingles themselves. So you should not be seeing levels of granular loss like this on a repairable roof, right? That means that somewhere along the lines, the shingles are not pliable enough to sustain a repair without incurring more damages. And so this is the road directly above. You can see this clear. I know it's sunny, but this is a clear level of creasing just by breaking the seal and removing the first row of nails to pull the shingle out. Now we're going to continue on, but I just wanted to document that in the process. This is the kind of stuff that we're looking for, and that we must ensure that we are documenting properly and correctly to restore the home back to pre-storm conditions, and, you know, have a you know, honorable, fair, and good faith adjustment based off of this scope of work, right? So here, we're going to take the new shingle, we're going to slide that in there, and hopefully get it past any existing nails. Nope, we got one more right here. Got to pull that one out. Should be flush now. Good to go. And I'm going to make sure that that lines up, and then hopefully rather quickly be able to put these new nails in and shut this video down for you before my phone overheats and we got to do this thing all over again, and that'd be very frustrating. So all of my nails show signs of obvious rust and deterioration, including bent, and I don't want to put them back in the roof because that would not be the proper way to secure the roof from incurring any water damages. We don't want water getting in there. In worst case scenario, if this repair were to you know, fail in ways that I feel like it would be unsecure to weather, then I would ensure that me and my company tarp it like the tarp over here. So get the first few in. Sometimes I forget. Excuse me. Okay, we're flush there. Get over here to this corner and secure it. Now, and as I'm doing so, granulars are coming off of these shingles and falling down onto the roof below me. I can show evidence of that on the new shingle. But these two right here are clearly damaged just from the repair process. This one starting to, but you know, this one is still attached to over there. So if this was to be repaired, you know, it continuously goes on. And then we're going to be showing for repairs all across the roof above and to the side, where each seam starts, from consequential damage of repairing each repair. So we've got 4 more nails. Secure this side. Oh, come on. Make sure we're still recording. I can't even see. first one in there. All right, second one in. Got some cracking over here. Come on, baby. All right, make sure we're secure. Good to go. And show you what I got going on. Make sure I can point to everything. And we're still recording. Okay, we're still recording. So this is obviously the repaired shingle. We've already shown for an excessive level of mat and delamination.